Hey everybody, this is David at Homestead Hacks and Hens. This is one thing right here that has worked so far for us. The wind's not blowing much right now, but when it does, it don't take much of a wind to pick it up. It seems to be working pretty good. We've had one hawk attack before I put it up, and after that I haven't seen the first hawk not even come close. And the chickens at first were scared to death of it. But then after they got used to it, they didn't think anything about it at all. It works very well. Once you get a wind here, you'll see how it takes off. But was chatting with a few people online about protecting your chickens and keeping your chickens out of the garden. And a lot of people, their answer was simply put up a fence. Well, okay, you can, if you got the money to do it, and if you want to put a fence high enough. What a lot of people don't realize, these birds here can fly over 5 foot easy. If you have a 5 foot, maybe even a 6 foot fence. I've known this from the time I was a kid, when we would build fences to try to keep them in, and they just kept flying out. Yeah, it'll work if you got a 6 foot fence maybe, and if you clip their wings. You got to clip their wings or that fence is not even going to work. And then if you're free ranging and you want to fence your chickens in, you better have a pretty big area for them to benefit from free ranging to begin with. So that was my whole point about the whole video was now I understand. I do understand people live in a town that can't possibly free range. I understand that completely. And yes, you would have to pin your chickens up and do the best you can do to feed them laying pellets, whatever it takes to get them to lay. But if you're in a farming situation and have property, then why would you want to fence your chickens in or fence your chickens out of a garden when there's other ways that you can do it? And that's what I was trying to explain in the video about different strategies that you can do to keep your chickens from getting in your garden or getting in your flower bed by using the rocks or using the rubber blowed up snakes, which works very well. I have this one, it looks like a big rattlesnake, and it's a blow up snake. And you put it in the garden and it scares the chickens pretty bad. And then the thing is to move it every once in a while so they know it's real. But like I said, once you get a good rain on top of that fresh soil, it's not near much of an issue because the chickens have a lot of greens to eat out here. So I've really never had much trouble with the chickens in the garden. The most trouble we've had is getting into the flower beds. And then once we put the rocks in there, then that was no problem anymore. Now, here's another thing that will help you out tremendously. Look, the majority of the predators are at night. Possums, raccoons, foxes, coyotes, any kind of nocturnal animal. Owls, that's the majority of your predators. This door right here will eliminate all those predators. This is called a run chicken. It's got a sensor on it that'll close at nighttime. It closes 30 minutes after it gets so dark and the chickens are well inside. And if it does try to close down on a chicken, it'll raise back up. This is safety proof. This has a safety feature in it. There's a lot of cheaper ones, but I did a lot of reviews on this before I bought it. And the run chicken, you can get it on Amazon, it's about $159. That is a lot of money at first, but this thing works like a charm. The battery's supposed to last for a year. It takes one AA battery, and that's it. They just recommend change the battery out, put a good quality battery in it once a year, and it'll work just fine. Your daytime predators, really, honestly, the worst predator of all is dogs. Even worse than hawks, because dogs are a huge problem. And because a lot of dogs, that's what killed That's what killed one or two of our chickens, was the dog. We did have one hawk attack, but the hawk missed, and the chickens run and they got away, so it didn't harm anything. And then that's when I put my kite up. There it goes. The wind's finally picked up, but most of the time it's a little bit windy, and when that thing goes in flight like that, it's pretty realistic. Even when I glance down here at times when it's in flight, and at first when you first glance at it, it looks real. So far it's worked really good. I got this on Amazon. I think it was $38 for the kite and the pole, and it anchors into the ground. It just sticks down in the ground a couple feet, and it's worked very well so far. It's kept, I've not seen a hawk around this area ever since I put it up, and hawks are territorial too. And you just put it on the ground just enough to where when the wind lets up, it just kind of dangles there, and that seems to help it very well. Now here's another thing that I heard people talking about. They're saying chicken wire is good for keeping chickens in, but not keeping predators out. Well, I've done this years ago right here, and what I did, I put dog wire. Now you can use hardware cloth, sure. It's more expensive. You can get a roll. This is 3 foot, and it come up to the part where something would actually get in. And I've never ever had anything ever get in this pen. And another thing that I did too, now you can go down with the wire if you want to and bury it in the ground and curve it back this way. I know people's done stuff like that. You can do that. I had a bunch of old cement blocks that was old and no good, and I dug a trench and I buried those cement blocks in there right at the base of it, and I've never had a dog or anything try to dig under those rocks. They're sharp. When you break those concrete blocks up, they're kind of sharp and edged, and I've never had anything dig out of it. But the dog wire, that'll keep your predators out. And then just go ahead, resume with your chicken wire around that. I've done this for years. It works very good. Little different things. But little stuff like that works as well. But that's about it, folks. Just wanted to show a few things that you could do to help keep your chickens safe, and explain that fence thing about the fence. Not everybody can put up a fence, and they are expensive. And if there's ways you can do it, because you're limiting your chickens, if you got to, you got to. I understand that, but if you don't have to, there's other ways of doing that and preventing predators and such from getting your animals. Another thing too, go around to the neighbors. When that dog killed my chicken, I went straight to the neighbor, went straight to his house, had a chat with him. I've not had any trouble since, and he said he would absolutely keep it pinned up. I said, okay, good, no problem, problem solved. So that's about it, folks. Don't forget, click on the little bell, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching Homestead Hacks and Hens.